gotta talk about probably the biggest disappointment of the year, potentially right now, in the Buffalo Bills.
Antonio Pierce literally said, like, I'm not stupid. I need to get Devontae Adams the ball. So is that going to be what Joe Brady's going to say? I'm not stupid. I need to get Stephon Diggs the ball as much as I can. He came out and said, oh yeah, last year there was a lot of like hostility in the room. No shit.
Who caused it? Who caused it?
Exactly my point, right? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another B Tier podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe.
And I'm so used to for you to say and get us to 200 that we're already at 200.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for 200. But also follow all our socials, rankings, clips. Hopefully the challenge videos come out soon. Audio listeners, make sure you guys download it and give it a 5-star rating. And head over to the YouTube and help us get to 300 now. Feels weird because it's a Wednesday when we record. And usually, I guess we put the blinds down now, but it's like full-on daylight because I'm not at work.
You're not at work, yeah.
Because it's my vacation week. But
yeah, but also one more thing before we get started. Tier list video coming out this weekend.
NFL one.
NFL. So
MLB after that soon.
yeah, and also check that out. But speaking of NFL and speaking of Monday Night Football, we gotta talk about probably the biggest disappointment of the year, potentially right now, in the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. So Monday Night Football, everybody, including our picks that we made with the family, had Buffalo winning. It's Denver. We have to talk about Denver slightly now because they're no longer a laughing stock anymore. But Buffalo, yeah, it's the same story all year long. They're 5-5 now. The Colts are ahead of them based on tiebreakers now, and obviously my Super Bowl pick, my MVP, only lived to do that MVP status for like 2 games, and then. Yeah, they ended up losing on a game winning field goal by the Denver Broncos after the Buffalo Bills committed a penalty of a 12-man on the field, which led to the Broncos to kick it again because they originally missed the first one. Talking about the game very quickly, it's Josh Allen throwing picks. Stephon Diggs he's getting mad to the point where Trayvon Diggs, it's like, you're the only reason why you're good on Instagram. He said this.
Yeah.
14 needs to get up out of there. 14, which means Stephon Diggs' phone number or jersey number. That like the only reason why you guys have been good is because he got there, and I slightly agree with that because. But also the flip side as well. It's both. It was 50-50 partnership there, but yeah, and then they ended up the turnovers. Their defense held them in the game for the longest time. And Josh had a few good plays, and but ultimately they choked. And Denver, we'll get into in a second, are now in the playoff race as well.
Yeah, Josh Allen turnovers, obviously. But it's the whole offense turning over. James Cook had a fumble, and then he had another fumble where...
But then James Cook cooked after.
Then he had a fumble where like it bounced right to him and
like a basketball.
Kept on running. It was like he started dribbling like a basketball, right? That means it's turnovers, right? Like, this is a high-powered offense, right?
It shows that you could run the ball. Clearly, they should run the ball.
They make big plays. They generally do make big plays, but it also, they're trying to make big plays all the time. It costs them a lot.
Kincaid got his touchdown because James Cook ran the ball effectively after.
Yeah.
Surprise. And obviously, we'll stop with the game here because this is obviously coming out on a Thursday. But the biggest news that dropped a day later, so on Tuesday, was, and we've had this discussion before, Ken Dorsey, their offensive coordinator, getting fired. And we had this kind of a debate, but we kind of like, it was like with Nick Shook as well, that Brian Daboll versus Ken Dorsey. When Daboll left last year, Dorsey was still fine, right?
Yeah.
Like it was fine. But you could tell there's a difference because Dan Orlovsky on the Pat McAfee show said like it's easy to prepare for because they're not running the ball much. And
pass play after pass play.
Yesterday, their running plays are Josh Allen. But on Monday, like I said, James Cook ran the ball pretty effectively when he needed to run it. And then he did ride it out. Now, the funny part with this is a similar question I have for you that you asked me with the Jake Woodcroft Oilers situation. How much is this on Ken Dorsey? Because at the end of the day, the offense numbers are great. Like, they're up there. I think Mina Kimes tweeted it out. It's up there. But do you think because of the style of the offensive is deserving to get fired? Because, hey, if he missed that field goal, he's probably still the offensive coordinator.
Everything in the offensive category is up there. That includes turnovers as well. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's some predictability there because, like, for the longest time, we're just seeing Ken Dorsey just put it in Josh Allen's hands for the whole entire game. Josh Allen QB draw, Josh Allen roll out, right? Josh Allen do this, Josh Allen do that, right? When you're doing that, obviously Josh Allen is not going to be perfect every play, and he's shown that at least 14 times, where I think he has 14 picks this year. You got to start changing it up, mixing it up, right? Like yesterday, on Monday, I felt like they started running the ball too much, and they weren't even passing it at all.
There was a certain points, because I think when James Cook ran the ball a lot, then they started throwing it again. I'm like, why? Like, ride what's working.
But you tell me a play action wouldn't have worked perfectly if you just mix it in there.
True.
It would just run.
True. I'm not saying that. But, yeah, I said that, like, I don't know if it should have been a mid-season fire, but maybe because they're struggling this bad.
They have to get
the results
done.
aren't there, right?
But
and on the flip side, defensively, they're injured.
Before we get on that, the replacement is Joe Brady.
Okay, I was going to wait for that.
Yeah.
But let's get to it.
So, like,
Joe Brady, those of you guys don't know, was last in the... He's a quarterback's coach. Now is their OC. He's a young guy. He was the Carolina Panthers OC for a year with Matt Rule.
Matt Rule, yeah.
But before that, he had a lot of his success with LSU. He was their offensive coordinator when LSU won it all with Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so on and so forth on that offense. And that offense in college was elite. Again, differences, that was college. I thought he got fired too early in Carolina, personally. I don't know how much was that on Matt Rule.
He got fired before Matt Rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much that was on Matt Rule's decision-making of firing him. I thought he was okay in Carolina. But yeah, then he ended up going to Buffalo as a quarterback's coach, and now he's the OC. So let's see if he could actually cook. And, Antonio Pierce literally said, like, I'm not stupid. I need to get Devontae Adams the ball. So is that going to be what Joe Brady's going to say? I'm not stupid. I need to get Stephon Diggs the ball as much as I can. Now, Pat McAfee brought a good point. He did say that, before we get to the other question about Sean McDermott I have, is the drama from the beginning of the year still looming? Remember Stephon Diggs after the game last year in the playoffs, and then all the OTAs was when he was saying some comments. I think Stephen A. Smith reported that, like, he wants out of there. And now, again, Stephen A. Smith, as much as we criticize him for the way he delivers some certain, like, how he analyzes certain things and how he talks about it, is a reliable journalist from what we know. But obviously Diggs refuted that. He's like, that's bullshit. And Stephen A. Smith's like, well, I have my sources, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
But he is a source, though, so who knows? Now, obviously, Stephen A. Smith brought that back. He's like, I ain't lying. If Trayvon Diggs, I don't know why Trayvon Diggs is getting involved. You're in a different NFL team. It's not like you're Dak's brother, Tad Prescott, I think is his name, who tweets about Dak all the time, who doesn't have a team roster.
Yeah, exactly.
You might get screwed over for tampering because of this. Right? But, yeah, and it's like, I don't know how much of that drama is going to loom over. Is Stephon Diggs out of there next year? He's 31 or whatever he is now. Again, like, my question, like, to your point, I think him coming to the to help Josh Allen was a little bit more, because Josh Allen was inconsistent until Stephon Diggs got there. But to your point, the arm talent of and probably Brian Dable helps a lot with this. Got Stephon Diggs going as well. That being said,
Stephon Diggs wasn't a top 5 receiver in Minnesota, like he is.
Yeah,
now.
Because Thielen was the 1A.
Yeah, no, but like in general, he wasn't gonna be that in Minnesota. No matter if Thielen was there or was not there, right? Josh Allen made him a top 5 receiver, but on the flip side, Diggs did help Josh Allen a lot too.
Yeah, exactly.
There is both sides to it, so it's not just like Trayvon Diggs' points is not correct, because you got to look at the other side as well.
Yeah. Let's see what happens, right? Because they play.
They have a tough schedule. They have Eagles.
Yeah, they have the hardest schedule, I think.
They have like.
To make them, and they're out of a playoff spot right now, and we'll bring up the playoff picture because it's time to start looking at playoff pictures a little bit now, especially with the AFC. But okay, so the last question: Sean McDermott.
He's on the hot seat.
He's gone at the end of the year if he doesn't make the playoffs, right?
I think you have to.
How much do you blame his? I know the defense has been injured and there's that thing, but if you're a good coach, Bill Belichick have done it before, right? Mike Tomlin has done it before. How much do you think Sean McDermott takes charge of the defense as well?
You know what? You know what loss is on him? The one against Kansas City where Allen just balled out, right? That should have been.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah,
the playoff game from 2 years ago.
Yeah, where the Bengals made a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that year. That was the Bills Super Bowl right there. Like that Bills. Nobody was beating that Bills team. The way that Josh Allen was playing at that time.
That was strictly head coaching decisions and defensive decisions.
Yeah, and then that was a 9 TD 0 interception Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And now looking at Josh Allen now,
is the window closed?
We don't know.
I'm not gonna say the window's closed.
You still have top. He's got to fix stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, we all know that. Josh Allen's still a top QB in the league, right? You could still win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen. I do believe that.
Yeah.
But he's got to figure it out, right? McDermott, on the other hand, I think they need to make a switch to an offensive guy.
You need a coach that
I think
tells Josh that you don't need to make every play. Like, he forces him thinking he can make them, and when he makes them, it's great. When he doesn't, it's like horrible. But at times we just let it pass because the great plays happen more often, whether it be hurdling someone, running into someone, or throwing the ball. This year, because I forgot who it was. I think it was Richard Sherman saying that, like, we criticize Dak all the time for doing shit like this. We have to criticize Josh Allen now. And now we are. So
because this year's been 50-50. Last year before that, you've seen more of the good than bad.
Yeah.
More good than bad. But this year's been like, we don't
because
know.
it's like
this year's been 50-50. Is he throwing a pick every time he throws, or is he like, how some quarterbacks you're like, okay, they're gonna freaking complete it.
Yeah.
Like, when I watch Pat, obviously, Tua, Burrow when he's on his game, like, I was like, okay,
Justin Herbert,
CJ Stroud,
Justin Herbert,
yeah, as well. Like, if I'm playing overall, and I'm throwing CJ Stroud in there as well.
Yeah, this year CJ Stroud for sure.
Like,
this is his only
I'm
year.
confident every time they throw the ball, just be a TD. Whereas
or a completion down something.
Or a completion, yeah. When I'm watching like Gardner Minshew, when I'm watching Zach Wilson, when I watch Carson Wentz in the Colts, and now I'm putting Josh Allen, I'm like, I don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
So is Josh Allen like in that Matt Stafford kind of mold now? Matt Stafford was like more good than bad for sure, but like recently as not as much. But
yeah, it's like, the thing is, like, this one really pisses me off, right? Because I love Josh Allen. Like, I love watching him play and everything. Like, him and Lamar are like my two favorite quarterbacks in the league right now, with Anthony Richardson. But like, it just pisses me off. And like, Lamar had his struggles too as well.
Lamar's kind of there now.
I know, but like, before, Lamar had his struggles too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, pick it up, bro. I'm trying to back you here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say the same thing to Josh Allen.
Now it's flipped for you.
Now I'm saying just Josh Allen. It's like, yo, pick it up.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to say a reminder that we already put 2 polls on YouTube out. MVP so far, which I had CJ Stroud, Lamar, and of Jalen Hurts, and then other comment that other below. And also today I released the who's your depoy. So that was Garrett, Crosby, and TJ Watt, and other, if you have any as well. I'm going to try to put more out for tomorrow this week. Follow the Instagram, like I said, because I'm going to start putting out more polls on Instagram for you guys to vote on or comment stuff about. But back to, okay, let's stop there about the Monday Night Football. We'll see. The title of this video is going to be, will the Bills make the playoffs? And you guys can comment down below if they will make the playoffs. But let's move on very quickly, because last time when we recorded on Sunday, it was midday. So we got a couple of games to talk about, and plus the Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football, don't care.
Jets.
Zach Wilson is doing Zach Wilson things.
Jets got 2 4 goals.
Antonio Pierce is coach of the year so far. And obviously I'm overreacting on that one. I'm just saying, he's undefeated.
Bro, I'm telling you just started Aiden O'Connell, bro. Aiden O'Connell's a GOAT right now.
Zach Wilson obviously threw a pick at the most crucial time, and kind of like Mac Jones vibes. And then obviously he couldn't do much afterwards. And then all
right, but
not much to say about that.
Game of the weekend was probably the Lions.
Is that Chargers. Game of the year? Is that a takeover? Another Chargers game of Chargers Dolphins.
Of course, the Chargers have no defense, so they're gonna be involved in shootouts every freaking game. Basically, that's the only chance they have of winning.
Staley's gone, right? He's gone.
He's a
defensive calling card.
He's a defensive guy,
so he's gone.
I don't understand. But yeah, no, Jared Goff. I said he was a player to watch for me last week. Like, I think he was gonna ball out, which he did. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs had 2 touchdowns. David Montgomery had like, and I think I don't even know. It was like a 70-yard rushing.
75 yard.
And Chargers, like Herbert, like we've seen Herbert do these things many times. We've seen Keenan Allen probably having an insane year.
He did have a great year.
And another great game. I think 175 and 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
And then the defensively, like I'm not gonna question Lions defense. I feel like this is the first time they give up this many points. But Chargers, it's the same old question again, right? Like, you have Joey Bosa, you have Khalil Mack, you have
Derwin James,
you have Asante Samuel Jr., right? Obviously,
you did have JC,
but that didn't work out. Whatever. Okay, that's on him. But you still have good players. Like, there's something missing here, right? You have Kenneth Murray Jr. at linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Like, the amount of times I've seen Herbert involved in these type of games that either he just wins or just loses is insane.
Like he has to score.
This is a classic Herbert game. 400 something yard or 323 yards. Sorry, 4 TDs. Yeah, he threw a pick, but like you're bound to throw a pick if you throw 4 TDs. 27 for 40, 323 yards. Like I said, Keenan Allen 175. Like you said, Austin Eckler 67 yards on 19 carries. Yeah, I don't know. Game of the year tied game of the year
with Miami.
But this is why I'm like you said, you're rooting for Allen, but that was more on Allen. I'm rooting for Herbert and Kyler Murray, which we'll get to in a second. But this is not even as much on Herbert as much as it is on the defensive
Herbert's
side.
not having his best years this year.
Yeah, he's still in games.
Right? He's like the Chargers' record should be way better than it was, and like some of that is on Herbert. Right? They should have won games.
Yeah, I don't know because that injury, but like this is a classic Herbert game.
I want to say they should have won the Dallas game.
This is a classic Herbert game.
The pick that Gilmore had at the end, but no, like this is the Herbert.
Yeah, that one was brutal.
We see.
Yeah. But speaking of Kyler Murray, the other guy who I'm rooting for, my two favorite.
But before are you concerned with Lions defense or is it just like a blip? Because there's a lot of points, right?
Let me see how much they've given up before.
I think
before this they gave up 38, then they gave up 14, then they gave up 38 to another good team in the Ravens. Bucks they only gave up 6. They gave up 24 to the Panthers.
Just focus on the good teams.
Seahawks they gave up 37. The Chiefs are week 1, which is kind of questionable. That's 20 obviously.
Without Travis Kelce.
So to the good teams they gave up a lot. Right?
So,
Seahawks I still consider a good team.
Are they when it comes to playoff time and when they're facing high-powered offenses? Right.
And the rest of their schedule is easy except the Cowboys.
Yeah, no, don't worry about the rest of the schedule.
I'm just saying
they're in the playoffs. When it comes to the playoffs, though, when they're facing high-powered offenses, like Dallas is gonna be a good
San Francisco.
Eagles. But like realistically, I think it might be
so they're gonna be the
third seed, right? Or they're second seed right now.
Second or third.
So they might be facing like a Seattle.
Yeah.
Right? Or like a Dallas potentially.
Seattle right now, 37 could be a blip, but at the same time, it is Seattle and they're random. Like Geno is struggling.
Bro, they also might face Joshua Dobbs.
True.
Joshua Dobbs might drop 35 plus on you.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta see the Dallas game to see fully for sure, or if they give up another.
Because I don't think this defense is improved.
Because high-powered offense, like you said.
Yeah, like all the
Ravens and Chargers.
Yeah, all the ones we saw, like all the ones you mentioned, where they give up 30 plus. But this defense is improved, but I don't think they have been tested. And every time they had to test, they failed, in my opinion.
This one, their offense helped them win.
That's about obviously.
Cardinals, Kyler Murray's back, may ruin their chances of getting Caleb Williams or Drake May or whoever. We'll get into college football later on.
They're probably not going to get a quarterback. They're not drafting a quarterback.
Like we've already talked about this last week. I think we're on this. Like obviously they play Atlanta. They're not that good. Making Kyler plays again, the little guy that just runs and then has an arm talent. Like I said, I think he's slightly underrated by many people. Yeah, so the contract doesn't do him justice, but at the same time, I still think he's more talented than people make it out to be. He ain't Daniel Jones. Like simple as that. He ain't Daniel Jones. But like we said it last time. You guys could check that out. That we're like, okay, if it's up to the Cardinals, trade down. If they can't trade down, maybe just take the best player available.
Just take Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, like if he's available, take him. Otherwise, take the best player available at that point. But yeah, like I'm happy to see him play because we were watching him live, and I'm just on that play where he just ran like a half a track and then just went across. 249 yards. Only he didn't throw a TD, but 19 for 32.
He rushed a TD.
Rushed TD, but threw a pick. Obviously, it's his first game back. So let's see.
It was a decent game against a decent defense in the Falcons.
25-23, so close game.
But the Falcons fell off now. They're a division lead and just never won a game after that. Yeah. And the Saints by default might just win the NFC South, which is another disappointing team against the Vikings. But sticking with Kyler Murray, it was good to see him back, right? It didn't seem like the ACL affected him. We'll see. He has a bigger test against the Houston Texans next week. But before we go to performance for him.
Before we go to superlatives, because the other games, Cowboys destroyed them, and then the Seahawks won a close game, which they're kind of winning. They're winning close games, but you should be.
Sam Howell's in there, bro. Yeah, you gotta get him on the line. Gotta get him.
How much are you buying? Aaron Rodgers will be back by Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, like
he said, mid-December.
I thought he said. I think recently he said Thanksgiving on the podcast.
Before he said mid-December.
Okay, like but either way, because we already mentioned this to Nick Shook, and he does not buy it at all.
I don't buy it.
Maybe he has the best doctors in the world and doing his ayahuasca stuff here. He does whatever he is.
Darkness retreat, man.
But the conspiracy, I think Dan Le Batard said he doesn't have a torn Achilles. If he comes back within 3 months,
If he comes back, he didn't have a torn Achilles.
right? Like you gotta buy that conspiracy. I don't know. It's just tough.
He didn't. Then he does.
Or he did, and he's just came back way too early, and he'll just demolish it again. One or the other.
Yeah, those are only two options.
Those are only two options, right?
There's nothing like
3 months. Like we saw what happened to Cam Akers, who came back early and just tore it again.
yeah, like J.K. Dobbs has been tearing. I don't know if he torn his Achilles second time.
Yeah.
But I think he had an ACL potentially maybe. But like, why isn't Dobbins back? Right?
Yeah.
What the they
No,
both
again, a different position, but still.
Yeah, no, but they both got injured the same week.
Yeah.
Dobbins
Like you better hope you have like the best O lineman ever for him to
They
stand
don't.
there. And they don't.
They don't.
Right?
They
Like you
generally
need
don't.
like prime Trent Williams, Quentin Nelson, I don't know, Creed Humphrey,
Lidstrom
and
on the right guard, and like freaking
not Lyle Collins,
Lane Johnson.
Lane Johnson, and whoever.
or just
right?
the Eagles online in general.
Yeah,
basically.
so like I don't know. I
Like
can't.
throwing Jason
It's so
Kelce.
hard to buy it. But do you want to do superlatives right now, or do you want me to talk about the playoffs quickly?
We'll
the
go
playoff
superlatives right now.
Okay, so we'll do last week's superlatives.
Yeah,
And
so
then do
we'll
the
start off
thing.
with the disappointment. Obviously, collective disappointment is the Bills. We already talked about them. So, but yours?
Let me just pull up this thing.
I'll
again.
start off with mine. Jaguars. You put up 30 points
That
against
was
us.
mine. That was gonna be mine.
All right, you talk about the Jaguars then. I'll
Okay.
pick the other one.
No, I know. You go.
All right, Jaguars. You put up 3 points. This is your test against
Exactly.
the Super Bowl team. These guys were losing 3 weeks in a row, and
Both of you guys are off a bye week, so
there's no excuse, right?
Yeah.
Like you just didn't do anything. Weren't good enough.
yeah, pretty much.
Might not be that team.
Echo
You
everything you said,
potentially-
because hey, Indy, Houston are on the heels now. Maybe.
They are on the heels, especially Houston.
Yeah. Me, I'm gonna. It's the same record I'm speaking, I guess, or whatever that saying is.
Saints.
Saints.
That was my other team.
You can't let Josh Dobbs, who doesn't know where his locker room is, and all this beat you.
You
How?
have a,
How
you have a
is
good
it?
defense. And you
Like
you're
Jameis
lying.
is making Jameis throws. I know Derek Carr got injured now, but
Yeah,
like
no,
Jameis,
is it even on Jameis when you're down, when your defense allowed that
Yeah.
many points?
Jameis came back in the most Jameis way possible by chucking random throws cross field, and then
it's not-
also lost at the end because Jameis doing Jameis things.
It's not on Jameis.
It's not fully on. What I'm saying is Jameis is just doing
Yeah.
Jameis things. But
But
at the end of the day, you should not be down by that
your
much.
defense is supposed to be elite.
Yeah,
right?
like they were down 24-3 at half.
Right? Like your defense wasn't elite against Indy. Like Indy had like 20 points by halftime against you, and then obviously you picked it up second half. Same thing again. Like Joshua Dobbs shouldn't be dropping 20 points.
And even
20
the offensive
What was the
side,
total score?
27-19.
That can't happen.
So they had a chance at the end.
like
but yeah.
Joshua Dobbs could get 17 max on you, especially on that defense.
Especially with him just showing up.
Yeah, but,
And like on top of that, your offense went elite against Indy and then fell back again.
but one of our surprise for me is gonna be Joshua Dobbs, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's a surprise anymore because he's been doing it all year.
Maybe obviously we'll talk about the Browns news quickly because maybe the Browns would need him back, even though PJ Walker's been decent. But Deshaun Watson officially today, at the time of this recording, has didn't declare it out for the year. Broken bone in his shoulder. So the fact that he started off, obviously you could tell he was injured and then went off against the Ravens
In
showed.
the second half, yeah.
Obviously you had him in your top 5. Now probably won't be the case unless PJ Walker goes sicko mode. But yeah.
That's not happening. But yeah, Joshua Dobbs is one surprise. The other surprise, the Denver Broncos.
I hope that jinxed somehow. It'll be hilarious.
It's not happening.
Clippable moment.
It's not happening.
Clip this moment for us. You, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. It's not happening. But the Broncos, they're on the hottest team in
Oh
the
yeah, we
NFL.
have to talk about the Broncos. I forgot about them. Yeah.
Surprise of the week. I'll just quickly say it right now. 3-game winning streak.
They're
beat the
kinda
Chiefs. They beat the Packers, beat the Chiefs, beat the Bills, right? They're kind of back in the mix. 5-5 now, right? I believe
4-5.
4-5. So with a game in hand.
The Raiders are 5-5.
Yeah.
But no, like obviously you and Nick Shook wrote them off early, like before the year. I kind of had had some faith in them, and they're kind of showing that faith back.
Kind of.
Russell's been playing decent still.
Like, I'm not-
He never had a bad year. Russell was like
Wasn't terrible, yeah. He was a man. But I'm still writing him off, right? Like they're still too far behind, especially how they started. In my opinion, like there's too much of a mountain to
Dude,
climb.
everybody's so close because I'm gonna bring the schedule up.
Yeah, I know.
Or not the
that's-
schedule, the standings up.
But like you got
They don't have a hard schedule.
you got the Bills, you got everyone in the AFC North, right? You
Yeah,
have to
no,
compete
that
with.
part's still gonna be
You
tough, but
you
they're still
got-
there.
Yeah, no, but you got Indy and Houston as well, right? And
But
the
they're in
Raiders.
the mix at least.
Huh?
So I'm still putting them part of the mix. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're in the
'cause
mix.
Their
but
schedule isn't the hardest.
I'm not writing I'm not writing him
Like,
in.
listen, who
I'm still keeping him as a, like I wrote him off in the beginning. I'm still keeping that category.
Realistically, like, okay, Vikings, they could win. Now you're gonna say, yo, Josh Dobbs is superhuman.
Josh Dobbs, bro.
Browns have
Nobody's
a chance.
stopping.
Browns have a chance. They have a win.
They ain't scoring on a defense.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
They ain't scoring on a
It's
defense.
football. We will see. Because I won't be surprised. Texans, you won't be surprised if it's at least a close enough game and everything, and they could win.
Yeah.
Chargers, the way the Chargers are randomly charging things up.
It should be Chargers.
So twice the Chargers. Detroit's the only one where I'm like, okay, Detroit. Patriots, really?
Okay. So name all the teams
And the
again.
Raiders.
I'll tell you my prediction right now for them.
Okay, Vikings,
Vikings win.
Browns.
Browns win.
So you said Vikings win.
Yeah. So
Okay, no,
then-
say
Okay,
okay.
so Broncos lose.
Okay, Browns game.
Broncos lose.
Texans. At Texans. The
Uh,
other two games are at home. Mile High, keep in mind.
Yeah. This is, like, Broncos lose.
Okay, so you already give them 3 in a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row right there.
At Chargers.
Like, at Chargers, they might sneak a win. One. They
At
played
Lions.
Chargers twice.
Yeah.
All right, so I think they might sneak a win against Houston.
Okay.
And then they might sneak a win against the Chargers.
Okay, at Lions.
Loss.
Versus Patriots. So they're home.
Win.
Versus the Chargers at home.
Loss.
And then at the Raiders.
Loss.
So you're still negative.
Huh? I'm not buying it. I'm
Okay.
still not buying it.
I think they'll go 500 the rest of the way, and we'll just see.
That's not good enough.
No, I'm just saying,
But,
but you gotta admit they're still in the mix.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, I'm still, like, I'm not putting my faith
So in
into it.
terms of the wild card, because we already know the Chiefs won the division.
Like, I'm guarantee you, like, I'm not gonna say guarantee, but obviously, but I'm like, out of all the teams, I still rank them at the bottom for the wild card.
Okay, so for wild card, let's just go AFC quickly. Chiefs
Because
7,
every team's in the wild card hunt except for Patriots
and the Titans.
and the Titans. Yeah,
They could come back, but yeah. Chiefs 7-2, their first seed. Ravens 7-3, there's a second seed. Jaguars and the Dolphins are at 6-3, right? So that could still interchange amongst the four. Literally, the Ravens could fall out as well. And
Chiefs are the only lock for division right now.
yeah, so they're top 4 no matter what.
Yeah,
Wild card 1, the Steelers are 6-3, so they're half a game behind.
they're gonna fall out. They're due for a L.
Browns are also 6-3, and they're playing each
They're
other.
gonna fall off a little
The
bit.
Texans
too.
are 5-4. So notice I didn't say 2 of the top teams yet.
Bengals and Bills.
Yeah, so Bengals are also 5-4. The Colts are 5-5. The Bills are 5-5. The Raiders are 5-5. The Chargers are 4-5. Jets 4-5. Broncos 4-5. So yeah, out of all the tiebreakers, they are the last. Then it's the Titans and the Patriots.
So they're still at the bottom
Again-
for me. They're still at the bottom technically of the standings. They're still like what, third last in the conference.
Yeah.
So they haven't moved much really.
But then again, I won't be surprised if the Raiders drop, the Jets drop, and they go up somehow. Not make it, but still be in the hunt.
Yeah, that's
in the last 2 weeks.
yeah. You had more faith than me, but I'm still like, I'm not buying into them. Yeah.
I wish we could make a clip moment of this, how I did the Giants. Let's see if this could be a clip moment. Let's just see.
Bro, your projection of the Giants was absolute.
It was
failure.
bad. It was horrible. But
The
I
fact
didn't
that
say the same thing about the Broncos.
Yeah, I know. But the fact that you said you have them over the Cowboys, I was like, okay, you're wild. You're
Okay,
crazy
at
for
the
that.
time, it was realistic. You have them in the playoff spot.
Yeah, that was fair. They made it last year too.
That's what I
Right,
I
like,
needed to make a bold
I didn't
prediction.
expect Daniel Jones to like fall off a cliff.
I needed to make a bold prediction somehow.
Right.
It was still okay. I would have been surprised if the Cowboys went ahead, but at the same time, I'm like, I could see it happening. Now I don't know if I just contradicted my own statement.
Then a
but
40 nothing.
Then that after that, I'm like,
you were so confident. You did contradict it right now.
Yeah.
You were so confident.
I thought the Cowboys were falling off. All right, that's all. Not falling off. The offense would have fallen off.
Cowboys don't do bad.
But you agreed with the reasoning of why I did it.
Huh? Like, I see they're a good team, but I still had Cowboys. I was never gonna put them at the Cowboys.
Okay. Thursday night football.
All right,
Before we go to the superlatives. Big game for once. We have a good Thursday night football and a good Monday night football.
Bengals Ravens. Bengals are, I believe, 2 games behind the Ravens for a division lead right now. Ravens with a win will really write off the Bengals winning the division here.
Yeah. And your Joe Burrow prediction will be wrong.
Yeah, but my Joe Burrow prediction lasted more than your Josh Allen prediction. I think I'll give my edge to Joe Burrow in the MVP standings right now over Josh Allen.
It's relatively the same.
I'll give it to Joe Burrow.
I have relatively the same because they started. Your guy started 0-3.
Yeah,
My guy started failing out.
your
the
guys
Dolphins
leading
game.
the league in interceptions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways,
they're both been bad. They've
Okay.
both been disappointing. But overall, I still gonna buy into the Ravens. So my pick was still gonna be the Ravens.
same.
But I think they're playing in Baltimore too, right? Because I think they played. Yeah, no, they did.
Yes.
Because I remember Bengals fans booing them in the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, Lamar's been on a good game. Obviously, he can't throw the pick at the end, right? He can't make those mistakes at the end of the game like he did against the Bengals. Yes, granted, it was deflected, right? But at the end of the day, it was a tight window throw that late in the game. But as long as Lamar is playing Lamar, I don't think anyone's stopping him right now, especially with the Bengals defense. It's not like Bengals defense is not elite, but it's decent, right? Like, it's still in the top half of the league.
Yeah.
But whereas the Ravens defense is top 10 guaranteed, potential top 5, right? Probably top 5. So for that reasoning, I'm going with the Ravens. I feel like they're more high powered right now, even though on paper Bengals have the higher power offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I'm still going with the Ravens, especially with a tough loss like that. You know, I think a team like that usually bounces back from a loss like that. So yeah, I'll stick with that. Moving on, let's just go with their collective game of the week, which is
Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl rematch. Obviously, not too much to say. Battle of the best records in the league right now.
They're 1 and 2 in everybody's power rankings essentially.
At the
Any
moment, yeah.
competent power ranking.
At the moment right now, yes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of shit changed. But yeah, no, Eagles have turned around for you. You were concerned for them at the beginning, which obviously it was fair. But at the end of the day, they won games.
Yeah.
Right? And now they're 8-1. Chiefs, on the other hand, it's the same thing. Realistically, they haven't really have like a signature win other than the one against the Chargers.
And the Bears.
The Chargers. the Chargers.
The Eagles didn't have that at the beginning. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Eagles were to beat Dallas already once, so they're gonna have to play them again in a close game. Whereas Mahomes, where Hurts had better games than Mahomes, more impressive games than Mahomes. Because the only real good game Mahomes had, I think, was against the Chargers and then probably the Bears.
Who's your MVP again? Based on the polling from yesterday?
Well, I picked CJ Stroud.
Is he actually your MVP though?
But if I were to edge it right now,
at this moment right now.
probably Lamar or Jalen.
Yeah, so which one?
I don't know.
I have Lamar.
I'll give to Jalen right now.
Okay. But yeah, I picked the Eagles to win this game because A, partially is because of pick purposes, but B, to your point, I think the Eagles are
They're the better
team
offense right now.
And they're the better team right now. They're the better defensive team right now.
They're both pretty solid defensively.
I put more faith on the
Yeah,
Eagles.
you give edge to Eagles, but like when you look at performance, like
But I'm still
like it's there.
I'm
But
just
who
saying-
has a better offense? That's the question mark. That's where I'm looking at this game, because defense to me, they're both really good. They're
So
both
because of that, you expect the Eagles offense to outpower the Chiefs defense. I expect the Eagles defense to also match up.
Yeah, so I'm saying the defense are similar for me.
Yeah.
Whereas whose offense is gonna be better? And right now it's the Eagles' offense.
Yeah, no, I'm saying defensively the same thing though. I think the Eagles have a slightly better defense.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think that especially what Miami did, they just take out Travis Kelce. How is Mahomes gonna win the game?
Yeah, they gotta
Right?
use
Right
the
now,
Miami game plan.
Their magical superpower has to be Taylor Swift, right? Like if you're gonna go conspiracy theories here or like superstitious.
If she's not there, then I'm definitely playing the Eagles. But is that Lincoln? In Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia?
I think it's the other one.
Is it Arrowhead?
Yeah.
All right, so she actually might be there.
Well, she was in Argentina, so
I mean, the one person that's really benefiting from now,
it's at Arrowhead.
the one person that's benefiting from this game a lot is Donna Kelsey,
Yeah,
because she doesn't have to travel to both games.
that and she'll have a half jersey on.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, let's go with the
I'm edging with the
superlatives.
Eagles, yeah. Superlatives, other games of the week I'm looking at is obviously Bengals Ravens. We talked about it. So I'm going with that. So what's
Okay.
yours?
Mine was what did I say mine was? Hold up, I'm gonna find it.
Cardinals Texans.
Well, no, that's not my game of the week. That's something
What is
else.
it? There's nothing else really that's good, I think.
I think that's
That's the only one you could realistically
kind
pick.
of. You know what? I'm fine with the Sunday Night Football game
Actually,
because the Broncos are doing well now for the last 3 games, to be exact. And let's see if Josh Dobbs continues. Simple.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Like before, I would be like, ew, no. But then you can't deny the Broncos have been decent the last couple of games. Either.
Yeah, I can't deny that for sure. But yeah.
Otherwise, actually, you could go Seahawks Rams as well. Divisional matchup. Seahawks got their ass kicked the first game.
Yeah.
So
all right, let's quickly finish this off here. Players to watch.
For me, it was. Okay, you go. I forgot.
Myles Garrett versus TJ Watt.
That was gonna be mine, but that was not the one I ended up going with.
Now hurry up, bro.
Can you talk about Myles Garrett, TJ Watt?
I mean, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. They're both depoy candidates. They're both versus each other. Who's gonna have more sacks this weekend is probably gonna win because it's Browns versus Steelers.
Who's your depoy, by the way?
Myles Garrett.
Okay, so it's not Max Crosby.
No.
Okay.
I'm giving to Myles Garrett.
Oh yeah, it was Josh Allen. Josh Allen versus Sauce Gardner, and how many picks can Sauce Gardner get, or Josh Allen throw the ball?
It's Jordan Whitehead actually.
That too, because of week
Week
one.
Yeah.
But like that secondary or that in general, like is that defense is legit.
Yeah.
And can Josh Allen beat that defense? Simple
Can he
as
bounce
that.
back? He does well when he bounces back.
Yeah.
Usually, but yeah, you're upset alert.
Was Arizona. I mentioned it
the
earlier.
Texans are on upset alert.
So yeah, Texans are upset alert. Arizona beats. I actually have that pick too. Arizona will beat the Texans.
I'm going with a boring pick, and I feel like I might just put this team every week from now on. It's the Bills. They're just always on upset alert the way they're playing right now.
True.
And technically, they are the favored games. Obviously, when you have Zach Wilson on the other side.
The other one I considered was Tennessee over Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's a fair one.
Divisional matchup as
Will
well.
Levis.
Yeah,
See what he do. He's bouncing. He's had a poor game. Finally.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. Let's go on to NHL because we have to talk about some serious news and some potential news. NHL off the bat. Adam Johnson, the hockey player that passed away when the skate got cut on his neck back a couple of weeks ago in Manchester. No. Nottingham, I think it was.
I think it was Nottingham.
Nottingham. Yeah. And so the guy who did it, I believe is an accident. I finally showed you the clip. It wasn't gruesome because it was zoomed out.
Yeah, the leg stick was on purpose, but
not that high up.
But I don't know if you try to basically like super kick him type of thing, like a side kick,
sweet chin music type
of thing, right? Like I don't think that was intentional.
But he's accused of manslaughter and he's arrested. So let's see. Like I think it's a hockey fast-paced game that I don't think it is. I'm gonna just say that I don't think it's actual manslaughter. Like, yeah, you might be trying to trip someone. That doesn't mean you're trying to kill someone.
Yeah, it's tough because like sometimes you just like
because they showed a clip of Jack Hughes slipping and his skate went up in the air like that too.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the reason why
I don't think tough, right? Like sometimes even because
you're on skates,
even though it might be an accident, it might be like still a criminal offense type of thing.
See, I don't know about the law about that.
Like
I'm not gonna talk about the law side.
Exactly. So I don't know if you're looking at that perspective. Some people could argue that, but I personally don't believe it.
But this is like different because like usually with manslaughter I think like if you have a gun and if you accidentally shoot a gun, you're still gonna be charged for it because you shouldn't have a gun. Or if you have a knife and you're just throwing knives or whatever, that's different. Like this is just a hockey game.
I don't know.
It's also skates, right? You're not like running. And all of a sudden you could just because you have more momentum to stop as a runner, I think, than skating.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, we don't skate often. Like we've had lessons back when we were younger, but that's about it, right? Yeah, I think it's tough to call it that. I don't know. I do see what you mean when like he extended out further.
He did extend his leg out.
But again, like maybe if that's the reason of it, then sure it is. But I don't think it is done on like if the question is if it's done on purpose, I don't think it's done on purpose.
I'm with you on that.
That part, sure.
But
if the definition means manslaughter, sure, because technically he killed him.
But when I'm going with the neck guards, the one after seeing that play, 100%.
Yeah,
you have to put it on now.
Because Rey Mysterio, before he came back to WWE, I think he was doing like lucha stuff or whatever. When he did the 619, he did kill someone.
Yeah.
But then the family deemed it like he didn't mean to kill him.
Yeah.
So that's the thing here. Obviously, it sucks because it's going to be in the news and Adam Johnson's family can't really mourn, I guess, in peace. Or what's the word? Is it
grieve?
Grieve really right now because all this stuff is going on. But yeah, hopefully we'll figure that out. That's our thoughts on it. We're going to just keep it at that right now. The big news, not the big news, like the decent news, because there's an NHL GM's meeting coming out. And the
Overtime.
The overtime rule, the 3-on-3 overtime. So this was in place, I think, back in. Let me pull up the link. I think it was 2016.
2015 or 2016. I think.
Because they wanted to reduce the time of shootouts, and so they made it 3-on-3 to make it a faster paced game. The problem now is possession time gets held a lot. So they're, according to Colin Campbell, screw you, by the way, because he was like the guy for the Canucks Bruins thing, and his son was on the Bruins. He's the one who did the suspensions and all that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
NHL general managers have discussed the change on the current 3v3 rules in order to retain like do the whole possession thing.
So like summarize.
Potential solutions could include a shot clock.
So yeah, basically the summarize is like a shot clock or over and back.
Or not allowing teams to cross back over the blue line or red line after entering the attacking zone.
So like
I agree with the second part. Sure.
I agree with the over and back.
Shot clock?
Shot clocks, no.
Like pitch clock makes sense for baseball. It's added, but that made sense.
You can't tell someone to shoot in hockey, right?
Yeah, like
or like in pitch, like when you're pitching, you could tell. Okay, you got to pitch, bro. Like you're taking forever.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing with basketball. It's kind of similar. You can just hold the ball the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Hockey, the game's different, right? It's more fast paced than any of those sports.
And guess what? Like if you're a bad skater, you could pressure him and he'll lose the puck. If you're a good skater like Hughes, we know how he is, and he'll do an odd man break.
But I agree with the over and back. I think it can't be the blue line, but I think the red line, the halfway line.
Yeah.
So I think once you cross that, you shouldn't be able to go back.
Obviously, a lot of people are in favor.
Because the blue line is a little bit more constricted, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of people want the longer overtimes that end in a tie. So like 10-minute overtimes, 3-on-3, and end in a tie. I'm a fan of the shootout. I don't know why. I know many people.
I want a winner.
Shootout.
I want a winner.
That's me, right? I like the shootout. Now, if it's a playoff game, that's a different story. Regular season, I'm a huge fan of the shootout.
Yeah, like I don't mind.
I just want a winner, right? Like
I want a winner, yeah. And you can't have that
because they used to do 4-on-4, 5 minutes, and then it ended in a tie. I remember
they did
when my first memory of thinking of hockey back in 03, 04, and then I remember the shootout came in place. But
yeah, I think a shootout is fair.
Unless they took it away and then bought it.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with that.
I don't have any issues with the shootout. I know many people do. Maybe I'm fine with a longer overtime and then go into a shootout. Sure.
No, then
like a 7-minute and then go into a shootout. Fine, I'm in favor of that. But I want personally, I would like a winner. That's just me.
Yeah,
I know many people. I think Wyshynski. I think he doesn't like them. I know Craig Button and a bunch of all these guys don't like it, like a shootout. But like I said, I like a winner. Like even I was like, I know EPL and soccer is a different story. I'm kind of if they had changed the rule and did like the night league for soccer, like you guys do.
Yeah, like a shootout.
I wouldn't mind it, but I wouldn't mind it if they had changed that.
Like I wouldn't hate it.
I wouldn't hate it. But the fact that it's still it is.
The difference with that is
because standings matter and relegation and promotions and
but the difference is like NHL's been doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Where soccer hasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference.
And plus, like, you need with soccer, I guess, it's like if you want to win the league or make Champions League, you have to win by 2. You have 2 points behind, whereas so the point matters that way. So, like, a team could just play for the draw, right? So, I get that. But, yeah, no, I don't know. Like, the OT rules, yeah, I do want to see more action in OT for sure. I'm not saying I want every game in a shootout. I'd rather have the action in OT.
Like, I'd rather have the winner in OT.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the
day.
But
then remember the Canucks game against the Rangers? Canucks had all the pressure, then all of a sudden one slip up or bad call, I guess.
That's the whole point of it.
And then it gets a counterattacking score. Like that's why I don't mind. Like
that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be.
Like steaming head, like going. It's more fun to watch that
way.
But yeah,
shot clock. I don't like that one, but I do like the over and back.
Yeah. Let's get into some quick fire. Cause soccer, we should have a guest. I'm gonna confirm. That's why I'm on my phone here. Confirm that we're gonna have something else for you guys on Friday.
Soccer is basically thrown in the quick fire as well.
Yeah. So quick fire off the bat. We'll start off with soccer. Canada versus Jamaica is because again we're Canadians, so we're gonna talk about this. Is Friday and Tuesday for the Nations League. Now the Canada has been struggling. John Herdman's not the coach. They haven't had much training camps, which will be a theme of which we'll get into the U17 World Cup. I think if they go through to the next round, they also get the Copa berth. That's the key of this one. Copa America is on the line.
So it's very important.
And if you want Canada to be in the next, well, they are in the next.
If you need Canada needs to be in competitive games.
Yeah,
Copa is gonna help, right?
Yeah.
Argentina,
now whether it be
Brazil,
good or not, that's a different story.
Argentina's, Brazil's, Uruguay, right?
Uruguay, Ecuador, Colombia, whatever.
Like they're
right?
they're not North American teams. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So there's that.
But Jamaica's tough, right? Like they got Leon
They're
Bailey.
a lot of guys. I don't think they have a depth, but they have a lot of
They have a good starting
European
lineup.
guys. Yeah. And the way we've been struggling, sure. U17 World Cup. I don't know if I want to go ranty right now, but
No, we can't.
Gvin, not Gvin.
They're just kids. They're just,
No, I'm not blaming the kids.
No, I'm just kidding.
Right. This is a whole Canada soccer situation. They got their ass kicked by Uzbekistan 3-0. Now, granted, they had a little bit of momentum at the beginning, more than they did against Spain. But the problem is, you could tell clearly, as much as you could blame the players for not putting the effort in a select few guys, and I'm not going to talk much about it because we have, again, conflict of interest.
You could tell, like,
you could tell the chemistry ain't there because Spain and Uzbekistan, all these guys have training camps, and Canada has like 2.
Lack of camps, right? It's the same story with the Women's World Cup and all that stuff. We've been saying it. Like,
Alex Ganji-Ruzic had it tweeted perfectly. You guys could check that out.
We're not gonna keep on saying it because we said it many times already. But
if you want to be
it
good,
shows. Yeah.
If you want to be good in the actual like what USA is doing, because you could tell the difference between USA, Canada, at the U17 level. Now, granted, this Canadian team did make the World Cup. The U15s, I believe, missed, right? And I think the U20s missed. I'm not sure, but at the same time, if you've never won a World Cup game, seniors have not either. But at least they scored 1. But U17 teams have not won a game. They haven't gotten a point yet either. And at the U17 stage, you kind of want to show you're competitive with the rest of the world. And if that's not working, how do you expect the senior team to do well?
So right now you're outscored 5-0 in both games. The fact that you conceded less against Spain than Uzbekistan is a surprise to me. But
questionable subs, because I thought TJ Tahit should have been
questionable subs. It's right now. Like I'm just gonna take the camps out of it. I'm just focusing on the games now. It's more on the coaching, right? Attacking wise, they have nothing. I think defensively they are still solid, like talent wise. Stefanovic leading the back. Obviously, goalie Abraham made a mistake in the last game, but overall was solid himself. Midfield, I don't know if they get Biello back.
I don't think so, but obviously I'm not going to be biased here. You guys could check out Alexander Ganji-Ruzic's tweet. Jivan's been killing it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to cap that there.
Center mids are good. The issue for me is the attackers and the wingers.
Except TJ Tahit.
TJ Tahit was one of the wingers, and yes, he may not have gotten much of the ball, but every time he got the ball, he genuinely did something.
Yeah.
Compared to the others there, obviously.
And he's your pro player.
Yeah, so
that's the thing. Like, he's one of your pro players.
He's getting way too. I don't think he'd be subbed off in general.
Yeah, like he's your pro player. Like he's one of the few CPL players. I know Lazar played on Stefanovic TFC, which is MLS, right? While everybody else is playing either MLS Next Pro or academies somewhere in the world. But yeah, I think that was different. Like obviously this is coming out Thursday, so this is gonna be the next game is Thursday 1 a.m. So but that game will be done, and who knows? It's gonna be a miracle.
Best third place teams make it, right? Right now your issue is.
But you're playing Mali, and they're a stronger team than Uzbekistan.
But you're lucky because their striker who got a hat trick against Uzbekistan got a red card against Spain.
Yeah.
So he's missing this game, which is obviously beneficial.
Yeah.
But right now your focus is obviously win. But another focus is
Spain win by a lot.
But like just find a way to finish third.
Yeah.
Right? And you gotta win to do that.
Hey, they could come second.
And like potentially you gotta win like
they could come 3-0. Second too if they win with a decent margin, which I know it's tough.
They're at -5 goal difference right now.
Yeah.
Mali's at 3, then they lost 1-0.
So they're at 2, +2.
They're at 2. Or did they lose 2-0?
No,
I didn't know there was 1. They won.
So they're
at +2.
And then the other guys are at 0.
So you gotta win 7-0 to overtake Mali.
Yeah. So we'll see. Moving on very quickly, big Manchester United news developing because obviously we have the Ineos group, which is led by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. 25% should be done soon. Richard Arnold, the current CEO of there for 16 years. I did not know this.
Yeah.
I thought he was new when Woodward left.
Yeah.
But so it turns out Murtaugh was the new one. He's stepped down, which is big because I think I forgot something Blanc, not Laurent Blanc, a different Blanc, should be. I think he's rumored to come in and take the spot. But at the same time, it's Paul Mitchell, who I've heard good things about. Now, granted, none of this won't matter if the Glazers are still the final say in charge. But at least in terms of finding good talent, like how they did in Tottenham, I believe, they'll be good to find, right? Like this is where we needed Rangnick.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how much of that was like genuinely to blame Ten Hag for not letting him one out. But I guess the Glazers were butthurt and Murtaugh and all those guys were butthurt that he called them out.
Someone called them out, right?
Because and hopefully Paul Mitchell and the guy Blanc are going to be good because they are the favorites, and Paul Mitchell wants United and Ratcliffe wants him. So let's see how much. Nothing's official yet. We don't even know when he'll get the thing. It's been a year. It's literally been a year since the ownership thing is going on. And yes, he's in the lead, but it hasn't been officially added in yet. So we'll see. The debt is going to still be there. They might sell Casemiro. They might sell Varane to make money just to fund the stadium. Let alone you guys dumbasses are not using your own money, you billionaire ass bitches. But at the end of the day, we don't know. Glazers are still in charge, so we don't know how much it's going to make an impact. At least on the field, let's see. Right? Like when we go to England, we'll judge how the stadium is whenever we go to England.
Whenever we go, yeah.
All right. So, we'll leave that there. Again, we'll keep the soccer talk minimal because we might have a guest on this week and hopefully get that video out for you on Friday.
Moving on to boxing.
Yes.
We've got three big fights.
First, before we talk about that, very quickly, Shakur Stevenson fights today, which is weird because it's on a Thursday.
Yeah. But
anyways,
we got three big fights announced. Four big fights announced. Bivol defending his belt.
So let me
all in the same day with Deontay Wilder versus
Deontay
Wilder. Yeah,
I heard Devontae.
No, I said Deontay.
Okay.
Yeah, and Deontay Wilder versus who again?
Okay, so I'll pull it up. So this is officially announced. They already did the press conference today, which is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Full Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. It's called Day of Reckoning card. This is probably the biggest card I've seen that's non-influencer.
Yeah.
Right? Because like normally it's like when we tune into fights, it's just Canelo fight.
You got Bivol. You got
so I don't know what's the main
Joshua
event.
and you got Wilder.
The co-main events because I don't know what.
Yeah, and you got fighting all three of them fighting the same card.
So Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin. Yeah, it's official. Otto Wallin is the guy that lost to Fury, but he also has. I think that was his only loss. So it's good. Okay, I'll give my thoughts after actually. Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's also a good guy, but when I saw the face-off, Deontay Wilder's bigger. We know how. He'll kill someone with a punch usually. Daniel Dubois is the third fight in this.
Okay, yeah.
So it's the guy that lost to Usyk.
Yeah.
And obviously the low blow thing came and he lost the
It was
appeal.
questionable. It was controversy.
So Daniel Dubois versus Gerald Miller, who apparently has beef with Joshua from the past. And if you were to look at a clip from Michael Benson on Twitter, they're drawing back and forth because they have fought before apparently. Dimitri Bivol versus Lyndon Arthur, that's the fourth fight. If that's your fourth fight. Now keep in mind, normally, because we're super casual boxing fans, we would have only cared about Joshua fight and the Wilder fight. Because what happened with Dubois and Usyk, he kind of intrigued now. That's how we got into UFC and boxing. Because the fighters, the fight, we want to see them fight again. And same thing with Bivol, because he literally beat Canelo.
Yeah.
And then the other fights, I don't know who they are, so I'm not going to say much.
Those are the 4 in one day.
This is in Saudi on December 23rd. This replaces, which is a massive replacement for Usyk versus Fury officially on February.
No, yeah. But originally December 23rd.
February 17th.
Originally on December 23rd, but Fury's dumbass decided to fight Ngannou in November. So
not in November, October.
Same shit. You didn't. We had a month.
Speaking of Ngannou, he's officially top 10. So next time he fights for someone with a title, he's officially in a title fight. So he's the 10th guy. Let me pull this up. So number 1 is Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
King. Number 1 after that, Deontay Wilder.
The hell?
So like how they do pound for pound the champion?
So you had champion in 1. Say that.
So I'm gonna say champion Tyson Fury. 1 is Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
2 is Anthony Joshua. There's no Usyk in this because I think they consider him more.
There's so many belts, man. It's so confusing.
I think they consider him as this is WBC's thing.
It's different.
That's the only annoying thing about boxing.
Yeah.
3 is some guy named Arslan Bak Makhmudov. 4 Frank Sanchez. 5 Efe Ajagba. 6 Jared Anderson. 7 Martin Bakoli. 8 Joseph Parker. So that's fighting. That's Deontay Wilder's opponent. 9 Otto Wallin. So Fury or Joshua took the weaker guy. 10 was Francis Ngannou, which is kind of funny because
one ranking weaker.
Andy Ruiz and all these guys are not in here, and now I don't know how this ranking things work.
It's just one ranking weaker. So,
but I'm only disappointed because Joshua and Wilder are fighting on the same card, but not against each other.
I'm not disappointed. Yeah,
you're happy because there's more to fight. Watch.
No, reason being is because they both haven't fought in too long. I just don't feel like they should be thrown into each other.
Joshua's been more. He fought recently. Wilder hasn't fought in over a year.
Someone need a tune-up fight, and
it's Wilder.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's why I'm not disappointed.
But next fight has to be these two.
Yeah, in order to, if you want, because I want the fight to be the best, like both guys to be at their best. And right now, I don't think we're gonna get that if we just chuck them in a fight right now. I genuinely believe
Either
that.
way, if that you wouldn't have been complaining as much if they were fighting.
I won't be complaining, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
I want a proper performance, and I don't think we would have gotten that if they were just fighting right now against each other.
Yeah, no. The only reason why I'm scared is like somehow one of you guys loses,
I mean,
which is more likely Joshua in a way because he has lost to Andy Ruiz in the past. But I'm not gonna say Wilder ain't because Wilder is a puncher guy, so that's the thing. But no, I'm excited though. There's 4 legitimate fights on a professional boxing card
finally,
that I'm
it's been
into.
a long,
I don't think it has
time.
been
It's been a while.
ever we've seen this
It's been a while
since we've been watching boxing.
I don't think so. No.
At the most, it was 2.
Yeah.
At the most.
At the most.
Yeah, so that's the boxing side of things. So boxing fans, December's massive. You got Jake Paul fighting. If you hate him or love him, you could watch him fight a professional boxer. You got UFC coming there as well. So fight fans, it's big. It's big. And it's December 23, so you guys might be off whatever you guys are doing as well.
Yeah.
College football has changed their rankings.
New number 1.
Georgia's back to number 1. Ohio State's still number 2. Everything else is relatively the same. FSU is still 4. That was the one I had a question mark. Maybe that would have flip-flopped with UW. And the other thing with that is, I think, like I said, the only way Oregon will get into the top 4 is if they beat UW in like a playoff game, and one of the Michigan, Ohio State one of them gets their ass kicked. I'm still very confused at what's happening with the whole Harbaugh Michigan situation.
I don't know.
So we gotta look into that because it is like people are on Michigan's side of this sign stealing scandal, but it shouldn't be a big deal compared to what the Astros have done.
I don't think it is a big deal.
Because apparently, like I've seen professional players.
From what
like,
I've seen,
I think JJ Watt said like, they do it.
Yeah, from what I've seen, right? I don't think it's a big deal. Like,
because they don't have like the voice comms. I think.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Like I don't think it's a big.
So get new school then. What the hell are you guys doing?
Exactly. Like how does sign stealing work? Well, like they show the signs to players or something. Like you're standing right across from them. Of course, you're gonna see the sign.
Or someone came in from behind. I have no clue. But I don't know how it is. We know Harbaugh suspended, so
it's not like they put a camera there like the Astros.
Yeah. And then bang garbage cans.
Exactly.
But the other side of the college football news, there's a new number 1 apparently favorite. Now the score had Jaden Daniels of LSU.
That's the Heisman, yeah.
As the Heisman favorite, which was Penix for the whole year. But I think McAfee mentioned because they actually looked at the actual odds. It was Bo Nix. Little surprising because Penix beat Nix. But, and then I think Marv is 4th. So I think Jaden Daniels is 3rd, and I think they put JJ McCarthy 5th or something.
Yeah. For me, it's still Penix.
But, like, dude, this quarterback class is insane.
It's really,
if everybody opts into it. Like, if Shadur Sanders actually opts in.
So you got Caleb, you got Drake May, you got Michael Penix, you got Bo Nix, you got Shadur Sanders, you got JJ McCarthy, you got Quinn Ewers, you got Did I say Bo Nix? I probably said
yeah, you did. Then you got Jaden Daniels.
And then Jaden Daniels.
And there's one more, Carson Beck.
That's 8 right there.
Carson Beck is killing it in general.
9 is Carson Beck.
I don't know if he's in this one, but I think he's
and then Jalen Milroe is killing it for Alabama now, even though after struggling at the beginning.
Yeah, so college is definitely something. We're trying our best to reach out to someone to come on the pod. We genuinely are. So if anyone's watching this miraculously, let us know.
Come on.
Please come on. Because I've emailed a bunch of people. I've messaged, Twitter DM'd a bunch of people. So let's see. Because we're trying to learn. And at the same time, the playoff is about to come.
Yeah.
So that's the college thing.
Moving on to where are we going to go? Probably MLB, right?
Yeah, let's end off in a bang because NBA has some juicy stories.
Award winners, Rookie of the Year and Manager of the Years are out. And to no one's surprise, is probably the favorites, except for probably NL, probably
Manager of the Year.
NL Manager of the Year.
So NL Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll. AL Rookie of the Year, Gunnar Henderson.
No surprise.
NL Manager of the Year.
AL Manager
of the Year.
Brandon Hyde.
Brandon Hyde of Orioles. And NL Manager of the Year is Skip. No, is it Skip
Schumacher?
It's Schumacher.
I forgot his first name.
Yeah, because I'm mixing up.
Marlins manager here. Honestly, nobody should be mad at this. But at the end of the year, like Tony Lovello had a chance at it as well. David Ross probably had a chance at it. But honestly, in my personal opinion, it should have been between Lovello and Schumacher and then Snicker. Right? It had to be those 3.
The fact that when I got you to guess and you said every player but this guy,
it's
Skip Schumacher.
Yeah, Skip.
So, so that congratulations to you guys. I'm hoping some breaking news could have dropped because we're literally recording during the day for once.
Cy Young's out right now.
A couple of news before. Actually, no. We should have started off with this. Actually.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the Padres owner. I'm gonna pull up the exact information here. Passed away at I think a young-ish age, 63, I think.
63, yeah.
63. Peter Seidler. Don't know the cause, but medical procedure in August, but said in September he was on the road to recovery. MLB commissioner, I am deeply saddened by the news of Peter's passing. Peter grew up in a baseball family and his love of the game was evident throughout his life. He was passionate about owning the Padres and bringing in the fans of San Diego, a team in which they could always take pride. So the Padres now will pause their managerial search because they need a manager and are expected to name a new manager before Thanksgiving, according to Kevin Acey of the San Diego Union Tribe. And yeah, so he purchased the team back in 2012 as part of the O'Malley Group, bought a majority stake in 2020. So it's recently new. It's not an old manager.
Owner.
The Padres increased payroll in each of the 4 years after Seidler took majority stake, from 157 to 255. So obviously, rest in peace and condolences to everyone, to his family and friends, everybody involved in the Padres organization and baseball world. But we also got to talk about the baseball side of things because he is the owner. We saw what happened with Eugene Melnick's passing, and his family did not want to keep it, so they sold it to Anlauer, right? I don't know what the situation is, so I'm not going to speculate anything. They are, like I mentioned, a high spending team. How much do you think is going to be the case?
It depends.
It depends, right? Because they have questioned, like, they got to pay Soto. I don't know who's in charge now, like who's in the whale, I guess, or however it works. We don't know, right? So there's got to be question marks there a lot. How much the owner, like the manager, is involved with the family to figure this out, because who's gonna pay for it? Because the kids could be like, "Hey, we don't want any interest in this," which is fair.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
Which is normal. So it's like, well, why would I want to spend money if we're not gonna, pay for this? Unless they said a baseball family, so that's the key part of that. Yeah. So who knows what the case may be?
But like, it depends, right? We can't really say anything right now.
So this is definitely intriguing now, the storyline, just to see how it will play out for the Padres, especially with Juan Soto being the question mark there, Blake Snell and everyone there.
Yeah.
So so we'll move on.
Brewers
manager, they
hired their bench boss,
in-house guy.
Right, when they're hiring it from within, when Craig Counsell just straight up snaked them and joined their division rival in the Chicago Cubs.
I don't even have a thing. I just wrote Brewers manager, so I gotta search what his name is.
Their bench boss, whoever it was. I always like hiring within in baseball. I don't know why.
Depending on the situation,
but
obviously.
Brewers are a decent team themselves, so I think that they'll still work out. Obviously, the main thing is because the relationships are already made, right? They're already built.
Pat Murphy.
Yeah, so Pat Murphy, congratulations to you taking over Brewers. But Brewers themselves have like decent question marks, right?
Yeah,
they're the team that's like, they make it, but like they don't really do anything, right? And we don't really know how good they are because they're in a weak division.
Yeah.
Apart from like this year, which kind of did well with the Cubs and the Reds, but and other than that, in the playoffs, disappointing against the Diamondbacks. I think they were first rounded the year before too.
Yeah.
Or no, a year before they missed. Because St. Louis made it that year. The year before that, 2 years ago, they disappointed with another first round exit.
Yeah. Okay, so we got some player opt-outs. I'll get to that in a second. MLB considers reducing pitch clock with runners on is now a consideration. So a couple of news as well. That's one of them. Other news is because nothing's been signed yet, but we know the players that did not sign their qualifying. Matt Chapman, Shohei Ohtani.
Everyone who was offered a qualifying did not sign.
Okay. So
that's what it was.
There's that one. The news that I just saw right now are Dodgers showing interest in Yamamoto, the Japanese pitcher. Where's it going? Rays are expected to trade Tyler Glasnow this offseason. Rays, spend some money if you want to be good.
I know, right?
I know you're good at developing pitchers and all that, but look where it's gone in you so far.
Yeah, exactly. Right, you did it with Snell. Now you're doing it with Glasnow. McClanahan's injured currently, Tommy John. So I don't know how.
That's my point.
Is he gonna be out all year? I don't know. I'm not even sure about that.
Yeah,
but I mean, you do have good pitchers
unless you're spending on Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, right. But like you have McClanahan, you have Springs, you have Shane Baz, and you have Rasmussen.
Who did they sign last year?
And they signed Eflin last year. Yeah. So like you still have a rotation. It's just that they're injured.
Yeah. So like I don't know. Glasnow's so good that like I don't want to say so good now,
But,
but he's
yeah,
good.
He's a good pitcher, yeah.
But the players that opted out: Shohei Ohtani, Cody Bellinger, Matt Chapman, Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, Josh Hader, Sonny Gray. So all Matt Chapman's probably the bottom of this list, but all pretty good, guys.
Yeah,
so let's see.
everyone opted out.
Can baseball please start signing people now? So we could have something to talk about.
Exactly.
Just reminder: baseball MLB tier list end of season should be out next weekend. Yeah. Sometime within the next 2 weeks.
Usually the managers get hired and stuff before the free agents come out.
Okay, NBA. Massive news. Yesterday, so Tuesday's games. First of all, your thoughts on the court, because the tournament's going on right now.
Of course.
Some of the courts are good. Some of them are like...
Some are good. Some are like... Just they try too hard.
Yeah, like overly bright or whatever the case may be. I don't know if it was Milwaukee's or someone else's. I was actually decent.
Like, I like OKC's.
Detroit's was fine. I think it was like
I think Warriors are good too. I don't know. I haven't seen the Raptors one yet, so we'll find out because we haven't played an in-season tournament yet.
Hey, your Raptors 22-1 comeback run
against the Wizards, yeah. But
Draymond Green is back in the thick of things in the NBA discussion. Warriors play the Timberwolves. They had their own drama. This is their second game, not back-to-back, but like back-to-back games.
With a minute in.
A minute in, 0-0 game. You had Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Jaden McDaniels. Which one do you guys have?
Jalen.
Okay, so Jaden McDaniels, just to make sure, are all ejected. Steph injured or not playing or whatever the case is. So you already got your kind of your secondary point guard because Chris Paul is there. So your Draymond Green's a secondary point guard, and your shooter, probably your top scorer, out. Right? Shout out to the rookie. I think he killed it that game. But Draymond Green. So essentially, Jaden McDaniels and
Klay Thompson
try to be,
they're going back and forth. And then
ripped each other's jerseys.
Yeah. And then Rudy Gobert comes in holding back Klay Thompson.
I don't think he choked him like Steve Kerr was saying it.
And then
Draymond just like, something triggered. Like, I think Mike Wilbon said it perfectly. It's like, because they played each other the night before, and Anthony Edwards and Draymond Green were going at it. And Draymond Green's been like this. Trash talking wise, I have no issues with Draymond Green. He's like, what are you going to do about it? And I love Anthony Edwards' response. By the way, probably one of my favorite players in the league. Underrated guys, just because he wants to play every game as well.
Yeah,
he said that publicly. But no, he's like, yeah, no one gives a shit about you. Obviously, the N-word was said a lot. We're not gonna say that. And no one gives a shit what you're gonna say. He's like, what are you gonna do about it? He's like, yo, you're all talk along that line. You guys can see the clip. But it was funny, good to hear that though. But obviously, Draymond Green comes in, just puts a chokehold like he's in the UFC. on Rudy Gobert. And Rudy Gobert had a last laugh. I loved his quote at the end. And I'm not a big Rudy Gobert fan in general.
I'm on Rudy Gobert's side.
Nothing against him as a person or anything. I'm just saying the contract and the play.
Yeah.
But he's just like, I think that Steph wasn't playing, so he wanted a reason to get out, so he just found a quick way to get ejected. And hey, in a way, it could be true.
It could be true, yeah.
Because the year Steph was injured, Draymond barely played that year too, right?
Yeah.
So listen, Draymond Green. And I'm not the only one saying this because Through the Wire has been on the same thing as well. Probably a Hall of Famer. Probably will get his jersey retired by the Warriors. Great player. He is a great player that if our system requires him, I would want him on my team.
But he's also probably a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah, because... but I didn't expect you to say that.
Because he stomped Sabonis last year.
Yeah.
And now putting...
The antics are out of hand.
Yeah, out of hand.
Way out of hand.
You're sacking Steven Adams. You're stomping Sabonis' chest. You're putting Rudy Gobert in a chokehold, right? Like, it's not that serious, bro.
Yeah.
It's genuinely not that serious.
The trash talk, I'm fine with that. I don't see Patrick Beverley going out doing this type of stuff.
He's taking it too serious. Like, what makes you this pissed off?
This is what annoyed me about Dylan Brooks last year, too, right? But, like, at the same time...
Dylan Brooks didn't fight anyone.
Well, no, he would throw cheap shots.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he would fight. Like, he would cause a fight. No, but like this guy's like willing, literally. Like I get it. That's your play style. You want to be a pest. I get it. You want to get in people's head. Do that. No issues with that whatsoever. But I'm sure Warriors fans. I know there's one that might be watching this, and you know who you are. You could comment down below if you want, or message us privately. What do you think about Draymond Green as the antics side of things? Because he deserves his contract. He's the reason why the Warriors won 4 chips, because he could be the guy at that point before Chris Paul obviously came in now, but he was the ball handler that could get Curry off the ball.
He could play make.
Like he could get Curry off the ball and play tag with Curry with the defenders, right? But like this shit, like you're putting your team at risk. Like you got ejected, You got lucky, a rookie, and some other people carried it a bit.
I made it a close game.
Made it a close game because there was no way that the Timberwolves should have kept this a close game for sure because their top guys were still in.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, like constantly you're getting suspended. He's getting minimum 3 games. He has a history. He's minimum getting 3 games.
He got 1 against the Sabonis here, right?
Yeah, so he's getting 3.
He has to get 3.
It makes no sense to me though. Like,
or 5.
Why are you doing the antics? Like I said, I don't know. Like Warriors fans, you guys comment down below. Bro. I know Steph Curry might be annoyed. Like, why are you doing this?
Bro, in the Jazz Joel podcast, he said it best. Life's not that serious, bro. It's not.
But like, yeah, it's just like, I genuinely thought Rudy Gobert was just trying to pull the Clay back instead of hitting someone. He thought, according to Steve Kerr, he thought himself that he had him around its neck, so he just went and grabbed him in a chokehold.
But I don't think Draymond thought that.
Every angle you see,
it doesn't. No, it's not even that. I don't think Draymond thought Rudy was just.
Or he has beef with Rudy from the past.
He's just like, nah, it's a fight. I'm just gonna fucking chokehold someone, bro.
I think he literally has beef with Rudy in the past or something.
Huh?
And he got a reason.
It doesn't even matter.
That's what I think the ESPN.
It doesn't even matter if he had beef in the past or not, man.
Yeah.
He was doing that. No matter what.
How tired of you with the antics though?
Huh?
Like you acknowledge everything I said, right? Like in terms of he's a great player, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's just doing stupid stuff, right? Obviously when I'm looking at it from a
neutral side, like,
you know, it's drama, you know. Who
yeah,
like drama?
Obviously.
But
like, no, we've got the biggest thing of all. What happened last year?
What?
Beginning of the year.
Oh yeah, him punching Jordan Poole.
And he came out and said, "Oh yeah, last year there was a lot of like hostility in the room." No shit.
Who caused it? Who caused it?
Exactly my point, right? Like there was issues with the whole Kevin Durant thing, right? Which led him to ultimately apparently to leave, which is fine. That's a different story. You came out, you proved your worth, you won a championship because people thought you were regressing when Curry was out. You clearly have proven you're a Warriors type of player.
Yeah.
Right? Because you ain't going to go to like Detroit like you were rumored to go and change that team around. You could fit in a Dame team. You could fit in maybe the Kings style team to have the defensive impact. But you ain't type of guy to go to a random team and be going what you do now with the Warriors. Because you're so valuable with the Warriors. You got to thank Curry for that too. But Curry's also got to thank you. It's like the Stephon Diggs. I think Curry would have done this on his own anyways.
Curry's a no.
True, I take back that part.
It's not 50, like 70-30.
Yeah,
right?
but
Draymond,
his defensive
Curry,
side.
Curry made Draymond. Draymond didn't make Curry. That's what it is.
Defensively though, like he was the guy. Like he is arguably one of the greatest players in our generation. Right? Like he's
defensively.
Defensively. He's a multiple time decoy. He's proven he could play big as a small guy compared to the others. And yeah, like I don't get it. Like why? Talk your shit. I don't care. That's fun. That's fine. Like I want you. That him going after Anthony Edwards was perfectly fine. Then you do this.
All right, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So we seen him do a knockout punch. We seen him do a stomp. Now we see him do a chokehold. What is the next wrestling move Draymond's gonna do?
A leg lock. Huh? I don't know. A leg lock or something.
I think it's gonna be an RKO. I think it's gonna be RKO.
I feel like a leg lock is more realistic because they'll be on the ground and he'll just lock his leg into an ankle lock.
I'm guessing an RKO or a suplex. Now those are my next two predictions.
I don't get this guy at all, but yeah, we'll keep it there.
He actually might do it.
Yeah,
genuinely might do it.
Like I get it. You're like he's tweet. I think he said on Instagram like I'm Draymond Green. This is me. You can't change who I am. Motherfucker, yes you can. You can change the antics of beating someone up for no reason. Or whatever. If someone actually punched you first, I get it. Like this stuff, yeah. The other antics, I'm fine with it. Talk your shit. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Before we get into the news we're probably more intrigued with, because it involves our city, or close to our city. Unless Doug McCallum makes comes back and makes the stadium in Surrey. But Michael Malone is extended, deservingly so. I think he is the most expensive, or up there with Monty Williams now. Still killing it without Jamal Murray. Jokic is probably back in MVP conversations. Back to him and Embiid, most likely. So Steph isn't convo. So
you got him, Embiid,
Steph.
You got Luka in there now as well. You got Steph in there. You got Shea in there, and
Tatum
in
and
there.
You might have about Tyrese Halliburton in there.
Tatum. You got I don't think Halliburton. I'm giving the edge to Edwards over Halliburton.
Oh, true. I'm saying you put Halliburton in there too.
And they put Halliburton in there. Yeah. If I'm naming like a top 10, like those would be like without ranking.
This is on top of
my head. Yeah.
But yeah, Michael Malone obviously deserved contract extension. still killing it. Yesterday's game was insane with the Clippers. Clippers 0-5. I don't know what. Again, like I said, I still think there could be a finals team. It's just gonna take time to figure everything out because James Harden was partially it's on him because of not participating in training camps and all that. That's on you going on partying and making fun of your former managers.
Chinese food.
Yeah.
In China. Ramen noodles.
Yeah.
So, next one, Zach LaVine trade talks. Obviously, we projected one of LaVine or DeRozan or Vucevic to be traded because the Bulls are not good enough. And Zach LaVine is the first off that list.
And also on that list is still DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso. Shams tweeted this out, developing yesterday or Tuesday. NBA teams are probing the availability of Bulls two-time All-Star, and there's increased openness from both sides exploring a trade. So LaVine is open to a trade now.
Yeah.
Off the head, top of my head,
Sixers.
And Sixers. Now, apparently I saw a report today the Sixers might not be as interested, but like LaVine ain't that type of guy to like be like hard and demand the ball like crazy. He could still be like off the ball guy.
You could catch and shoot.
Yeah. Heat. Defensively he may not fit their mold, but I still think you could get a bucket.
Defensively, I think defensively he might not fit the Sixers mold. Personally, because
both because of Heat culture.
Him and Maxey, defensive backcourt, I don't think it's gonna be great.
It depends, I guess, if they could get someone else in the wing, like if they could somehow bring back Thibault.
But they have PJ Tucker as well too, which helps. Yeah.
No.
The Sixers don't have PJ Tucker?
No.
Well, am I stupid? What happened?
Very stupid. Ultimately stupid.
Oh no, PJ Tucker's in the Clippers.
Yes, he's part of that trade.
Yeah, he was part of the trade.
They got Batum in them.
Yeah, he was. I forgot PJ Tucker was part of the trade.
Yeah. But no, Heat makes sense because you get a bucket getter as well. You could pair him with, I guess, same thing there, Hero and him. I don't know how good they are defensively, but again, the culture. Let's see how legit it is. But I still think he fits more than a Harden would have in the Heat.
Yeah.
The other team for me, people threw out OKC. I don't know if I would want him and OKC with Shea. I would rather have like a better big or a elite like Kawhi wing, like PG comes back for example. I don't think him and I guess it could work. It'll work.
I could see it. Him. You got Shea. You got LaVine.
Dort's probably in the trade.
Start Dort for like defense purposes.
Dort could be traded.
Or I know.
Giddey or Dort, one of them is gone.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think they're gonna keep Giddey then. But let's just say I'm just ejecting LaVine in there just randomly. I'm not saying anyone trading back.
Let's just say it's Giddey, Shea, LaVine, Williams, and Chet.
Yeah,
that's what I think is on the top of my head.
A little bit small. Actually, no, Shea's pretty big himself though.
Chet's massive himself.
Chet. Well, probably like in the guard.
And then J-Dub, whatever one it is, plays big as well.
A guard.
And you still have like Kenrich Williams.
I don't know. I want to throw Dort in there just because we're like if
off the bench you have Keishan Wallace.
Yeah.
And
so Dort probably coming off the
bench. If you're saying Giddey's not part of this trade, like it depends on what Bulls want, right?
Giddey has to. I don't think
the Bulls could ask for Giddey.
They could, but I don't think
because the Bulls would want Giddey. The Bulls would want Giddey more than Dort.
OKC wouldn't want to do that.
But Bulls, who knows? They have so much. They could.
They could just throw the picks in.
Because Shea is the guy there. What's Giddey is gonna? But Giddey's a point guard himself.
Giddey's doing good himself.
Giddey's a point guard though himself.
Who knows?
So like, if I'm the Bulls, I want Giddey.
Yeah, if I'm the Bulls.
Because if it's Giddey, literally.
Yeah, but if I'm OKC, I would try to not trade Giddey.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying like the Bulls. I think Giddey will be the one getting involved in this the most because they don't. Why would they want Lou Dort unless they flip him later, right? Giddey, you build around him.
Yeah, you can.
Other team, I think the Lakers. I think the Lakers will go with more Caruso again.
How are you gonna fit the cap, bro?
Okay, you can't tell me about the cap when you have the Celtics, the Clippers. Have those two that squad rolled out. All right, you can't tell me about the cap. Plus, we could just get rid of like D'Angelo Russell's contract or whatever. But I'm talking about more so Caruso. I don't mind getting LaVine because we still want a bucket getter. Like I don't want to go in big name hunting, but I think LaVine's a guy that will fit LeBron in them well. Defensively, again, that's the question mark. We are slightly struggling defensively, but D'Angelo Russell, same thing. But and then with CJ, by the way, get well soon. CJ collapsed lung. CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
You could think the Pelicans could be a shout. And I saw our team put out Orlando, but I don't know if Orlando's ready for that right now. Like right now, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe next year or two.
You got Paulo, you got LaVine. Then if they're making that move, which could be a nice little duo there. And then Franz Wagner as well.
Yeah, like they'll have it. They'll have pieces to trade as well. OKC, like I said, move some pieces because you guys are doing well.
They could. There's options for him.
But I think the three names
they could fit in a lot of places.
The three names that were mentioned, but I think I forgot it was ESPN or Shams or whoever, was the Lakers, Heat, and the Sixers. Off the bat, if I'm the Sixers and the Heat, I'm calling
100%.
Easily, those are the two calls.
You gotta make that move.
DeMar, right? Depends on the situation.
Because Celtics and Bucks are like, they're still better. Even though Sixers are first place, the Celtics and Bucks are still better.
The Bucks will eventually get better.
Because we've seen the Sixers do good in the regular season and choke in the playoffs many times.
Okay. Last thing. This is the most intriguing thing. Great. Hey, we got all sports got hit again today.
Exactly.
To some sort of depth, and this is the biggest one. NBA expansion talks. I think it was during a Knicks game. I forgot. I think maybe against the Bucks. During live, Adam Silver was talking about expansion, and I think one of whoever was on the broadcast asked, "What about Canada? Is this like Toronto is labeled as Canada's team?" I know Vancouverites don't like that. Right, you are a Raptors fan, but you consider yourself a Raptor, not a Toronto guy.
I'm not a Toronto guy,
but you're a Raptors fan. But to be a fair point, you are sitting here in British Columbia as a Raptors fan, right?
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that the Raptors play in Toronto. That's what I'm trying to say.
But so he brought up that like, hey, we might consider Vancouver, which is big because the Grizzlies obviously left. Now whether that be relocation or expansion,
might need to jump ship then.
Who knows, right? I don't know. I'm still a Laker fan, so it depends. Because for you, it's different because Toronto and Vancouver media rivalry and all that.
My reasoning was that, Toronto's the only Canadian team, so like might as well just root for them type of thing.
But you became diehard though, to the point you got this.
Yeah, I know. Like that's when I started liking basketball. That's why I became diehard.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I didn't care about basketball, I wouldn't give a shit.
True, but now because now you are in it.
Yeah.
That's a different story. But they said Vancouver, I think Montreal. Someone from Montreal reached out, so that's a little different. Usually someone from Vancouver would reach out, but this time he mentioned Vancouver on its own. They said Mexico City, which makes sense because at least it's the same continent and it's not London, Jacksonville situation. Right?
But the most obvious ones right now probably Vegas and Seattle.
I think that's Vegas is a 1,000.
If you're adding two,
Vegas is a lock.
Vegas
Seattle
is
the biggest lock, and people are complaining that Seattle doesn't have a team anymore.
Yeah. So it's
more so than Vancouver.
Yeah, Vegas and Seattle. Then if you're going international, hopefully Vancouver's one.
If Vancouver does get one, then Seattle might not get one.
I wouldn't mind saying Mexico City just because of Guillermo's Tijuana Piranhas type thing. So give him a Mexico team just for Guillermo, and who knows, he might be covering the NBA Finals in Mexico at one point.
Yeah, obviously we would love to have that happen. Like I will still be a Vancouver fan. Obviously that's a different, when it ever happens, that's like the convo we will have for sure. But yeah, no, like I said, I think Vegas is a lock, and if Seattle gets it might be tough for Vancouver because of they're like, oh, we have one geographically there. They might give one to Montreal then, who knows? But obviously I would prefer Vancouver because but then again, where are they gonna build it? Are they going to be tenants? I don't know if anyone wants to be a tenant. There's a lot of business things to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it going to be a Fraser Valley team, like the Bandits, or or whatever the case may be? But if it has to be, it's going to be Vancouver. And can you co-own it? I don't think Aquilini will. Apparently, from what I heard, won't own both.
Yeah.
So, are you going to be a tenant of Aquilini? Or are you going to play at BC Place? I don't think BC Place is the right place to play it.
It's not.
Or are you going to find some land somewhere in Vancouver? This is why we said Doug McCullum, sorry. But no, it's intriguing though. Right, this is the most positive we heard about Vancouver getting a basketball team. It's the most realistic out of all the major sports outside of hockey. Obviously, we have hockey. Because baseball, where are you gonna extend Nat Bailey to make it an actual?
You can't in baseball. No one's in NFL. So
yeah, NFL Toronto will be the first team to get it,
and it's already 32 teams anyways.
Yeah, no. If anyone were to relocate, Toronto would be out of the Canadian teams. It will be Toronto.
And then you have already the CFL as well.
Yeah, the CFL is its own thing.
I know, but it's kind of in that mix, right? Yeah, it's like still in play there.
But yeah, that will pretty much do it for us. Pretty fun pod, long pod, early pod for us. I guess
recording. Yeah.
Appreciate everybody for the support recently. Go check out the Jazz podcast as well. Banger talks there about baseball and everything. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Get that goal to 300 now. Follow for all updates on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. So subscribe. Audio, same thing. Download and give it a 5-star rating. And other than that, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.